right, it's time to spill some tea. It's 3 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am feeling wonderful this morning. I have my tea. Candy, how are you feeling?
I'm happy. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
TGIF.
TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And we have a wonderful weekend, isn't it?
Yes, rest.
Yes. It has been such a wonderful week, though. And we have had so many guests throughout the week. And I must say that it has been a celebration for women during the week. And
Yes.
at this point in time, as we wind down the week, it's Friday. It's, I find that Fridays are very busy in the town of Bastille. I find that the
Recently.
traffic increases. I find that the people increase.
Yes.
Mhm.
It has been a busy week. We've had a lot of interesting and I must say powerful women popping into studio. We're expecting some more of that today as we wrap up the week. But to hop on what you just said, I think everybody gets excited when it's Friday, and
Yes.
4th Street is usually extra busy, and that's one of the particular streets. I can only speak for that one in particular, but coming into town to get lunch or run errands on Fridays has become a nightmare in and of itself.
It has been. And we are talking about women, and we're just looking at some of the stories over the past week. It has been International Women's Day, and women have been featured on the program. They continue to be featured because, again, as you said this morning, we're going to speak to some other women. And so I want to highlight some women. This is an article. It says that several women, including St. Kitts Governor General, St. Kitts and Nevis's Governor General, honored on International Women's Day. And so it is saying that the Ministry of Social Development and Gender Affairs recognized 4 Kittitian women on International Women's Day for their outstanding contributions to the nation. So we had the honorees, Miss Jihan Williams, for contribution in the category of the orange economy.
Right.
We had Miss Shonaldine Lewis in the category of digital economy. We had Miss Vertali Henderson in the category of the blue economy. And we have had Mrs. Trelor Freights in the category of women in science.
Nice.
And so we had
nice.
these ladies being honored. And one thing, we had the featured speaker, Patricia Walters. And in her address, she indicated that it is the first time in the history of St. Kitts and Nevis all communication companies are headed by women.
Yes, I noticed that. I think when we had the Honorable Senator visit us, she alluded to the ceremony that was being held. She didn't give us any indication as to the names, and I remember seeing Jihan saying how surprised she was. But she did say that they were going to have a ceremony, and I think it was well attended. There were hundreds of persons there, a lot of women, quite a number of women. And I saw some photos from it. I didn't get any speeches from it, but I did see some photos, and there were quite a number of women. And I must say quite a number of classmates. So kudos to everyone that got honored or mentioned or even attended. I'm very proud of you guys. Keep up the good work. I have been in contact with quite a few of them in my daily life, and I must say, well deserved.
Yes. And so if we are looking at some other newsworthy stories locally, it says road maintenance to commence after completion of asphalt plant repairs. So they're going to have some, it says, unfortunately, and this is talking that the Minister responsibility for the Ministry of Infrastructure and Utilities, Honorable Congress Maida, had encouraged motorists to drive safely as several asphalt roads in St. Kitts and Nevis require maintenance.
How do you feel about that? Listen, I just drove down Market Street and I felt like I was on a roller coaster. Just that bottom piece there that comes just after where our former Governor General's residence is.
Yes.
Coming to the end of the road where I think Salvation Army Church is.
Yes.
there are, in that little strip alone, I swear there are about 30 holes. There's nowhere you can drive safely or smoothly on that patch.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see this article. I just can't wait to see where they're going to start, because it's something that I've seen just on a number of Facebook posts that people have been complaining about. I know, for instance, there's a lot of complaint about Monkey Hill Road. I know for a fact that that road that I just mentioned and several others badly need work.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them taking that on and aiming to get us sorted.
Indeed.
Kudos.
Kudos.
To well-needed roads.
Yes. So those are some of the local news stories. One of the local stories I want to touch is that El Comida Willett celebrates 50 years since becoming the first Leeward Islander to meet the West Indies cricket team.
Are you a cricket fan?
I am a CPL fan.
Oh.
Yeah, cricket played louder.
You do realize that's like saying I'm a NHL fan, but I'm not a hockey fan. How does that work? Explain that.
He likes specific cricket.
Yes.
For me, I can relate to that, right?
It's a fair
I
point.
don't necessarily like Test cricket. I find it's too long and drawn out. Give me a one-day match. That's why I love CPL.
Yes.
20 overs, I'm done. I can move on. Bring on another team. I could go do whatever else I had to do. The whole sitting down for this Test cricket, and then you got to come back, and then you got to memorize the overs, and it's just a little bit too drawn out for me. But congratulations to Mr. Willett. I saw someone post a very old photograph of him yesterday. I think it was on their status.
How old is he?
They didn't say his age.
Oh,
They
didn't say
said
his
he
age,
was
okay.
celebrating 50 years since becoming one of the first Leeward Islander. And I know there've been quite a number of them just following in his footsteps. Unfortunately, I think we lost one. One of them passed. I think it Renako Merton.
A few years ago in Trinidad in an accident.
Right. So I know there've been quite a number of persons following in his footsteps, but he was the first one. He set the ball rolling. I know they've named the grounds in
The
Nevis
golf
after
park
him.
after, yeah.
Right.
And it's
right.
a good time. It's a good time to remind people that Stevenson Manners actually wrote. New Vision journalist Stevenson Manners actually just released a book last month.
Nice.
On a
The whole journey.
biography on El Comida Willett. It's also
That's
available
good.
on Amazon.
And it's good for us to pay tribute and to pass
Absolutely.
on that information. I believe that that's how you create immortality.
Absolutely.
Look at Bob Marley. He's passed for so long, and everyone in the world knows him because persons keep pushing his story. We keep repeating it. We keep playing his music. And in the Caribbean, I find that we wait until it's too late. We want to do these things after the person has passed, instead of giving them their flowers while they're alive.
And this is a good time to say, actually, it's 8:11. This is a good time. This is a perfect segue. The Team St. Kitts Nevis beach volleyball, both teams, they'll be here this morning at 8:30.
Yes.
And they have been overperforming and, I should say, underrespected?
Underappreciated.
Underappreciated. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Underappreciated.
Yes, unfortunately.
So,
Unfortunately,
yes.
that's the truth of the matter.
And the funny thing is, like we were discussing earlier in the week with Brenda, they've actually been performing better than a lot of other sports teams,
and still not given that recognition, which is unfortunate.
And the support in terms of infrastructure and so on is not commensurate with their success.
We should find out what is causing that. Get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Maybe they have some
Samal, I hope
ideas.
you're listening.
Maybe they have
The
some
Minister of
ideas
Sports.
as to what's taking place. I personally think that maybe with this win, it will give more attention to the sport. It will give more attention to the players, all the persons involved, because for some reason, a lot of people don't know when these things are happening.
I know.
It wasn't until they got the medals that I even knew that they had gone
There you
to play
It was
to
Biff.
represent St. Kitts.
It was Biff who called me and told me. Biff told me he was happened to be driving. I think he said he went to the airport and he saw them leaving. And he called me and told me, so that actually, and Biff, big ups to you. They actually saw them leaving and called me and said, actually, two volleyball teams, the national male and female team.
So there wasn't a press release. Is it? Well, we'll find out when they get here. Maybe, it's a more PRO relations
Yeah.
that's lacking, and that's one of the reasons.
I don't think it's that. What I think a lot of it is, it's probably just, I mean, let's face it, the government has finite resources, and volleyball is probably not seen as mainstream as the
Maybe
other
like a
sports.
cricket
Yes,
or
even
football.
football and stuff. So
Mhm.
so I think that has a lot to do with it. But I feel like because of their outside success,
Right.
they should be given the support they need.
Hopefully, this is the start of something.
I mean,
Something
imagine I saw
yes.
Sean
Mhm.
and Penny on when I watched the thing last summer, the Commonwealth Games.
Yes.
So you saw Sean and
They
Penny
were at the
playing in
Commonwealth
Scotland, yeah.
Nice. So we have some well-accomplished persons
Yeah.
soon to step into studio.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to interview them. Hopefully, we'll get to the bottom of this and change things around.
Yes, guys, on the international news, you know that the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, they are saying that massive efforts are needed to reduce salt intake and protect lives. So basically what they have said, they have noted that sodium, although it's an essential nutrient, increases the risk of the intake of, increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and premature death when eaten in excess. And they're saying that the global report on the sodium intake reduction shows that the world is off track to achieve its global target of reducing sodium intake by 30% by 2025.
Did they list the foods, though?
Well, they did not list the foods, but they are saying that implementing highly cost-effective sodium reduction policies could save an estimate 7 million lives globally by 2030. And they're saying that unhealthy diets are a leading cause of death and disease globally. And the excessive sodium intake is one of the main culprits.
Oh my! And I am so. Full disclosure, I'm a stress eater, and I usually go for salty stuff. I don't know. I'm a snacker.
Yes.
If I'm working on a paper or something that I know is going to, have me use a lot of brain power, you will see a bunch of salty snacks in front of me. I'll faster go for salty snacks than sweet, or I usually say salty and savory. So I can already imagine, and that's why I asked if they had a list, because I feel somewhat targeted. What type of snacker are you?
I am, well, for me, I try to eat healthily.
Good
So
job.
don't feel bad, Candy.
I don't. I really don't.
So if I'm snacking, I'll probably snack on some grapes. I love grapes.
Oh, nice.
I would probably snack on banana and perhaps
You're like Chesley.
tangerine.
You're like
and stuff
Chesley. Chesley would buy a bag of, the baby carrots.
And
Oh,
just eat
I need
wow,
them.
commitment.
Yeah.
For me, I've now begun to try to bring more fruits. So if I have the fruits right there, I have no choice but to eat them. But I usually gravitate to fruits like earlier in the day.
Yeah.
If I'm working on something and it's the middle of the day, Doritos, Cheez-Its. I'm
Thank
obsessed
God,
with
I
Cheez-Its.
don't have those obsessions. I don't have those cravings. I don't know the last time I eat potato chips or those like
I
that.
haven't had
Come
potato
on,
chips
so-
in a while.
man,
Don't
come
give
on,
me any
come on,
ideas
come
now.
on, man. Come on. Hey.
Those jalapeno Cheetos.
Here's
Oh
how I'm
my
gonna.
goodness.
Here's how I'm gonna shut him down now. You know, right? That Hitler was a vegetarian.
Oh my goodness.
And you know that Hitler was born in the month that I was born.
Oh my
That's even worse. That's even worse. Double down. Why don't you?
But we're nothing alike.
I'm gonna sneak some
'Cause
snacks
what I'm
onto his
saying,
desk and see what
because-
happens. Don't worry.
Because people say well, you can't trust vegetarians. Because.
Well,
So you're a
I'm
little
not vegetarian.
You're a little extreme. You're a little extreme with this. I mean, come on, man.
So
You don't
good
eat
thing they said
Doritos.
vegetarian
Come
and not
on.
vegan, because I actually did vegan for a couple months, almost half of a year. And then I caved in on some salmon. So
Yes.
Salmon? Well,
Yes.
salmon is good.
but that's what I caved on. I was doing vegan so well as
funny.
maintaining everything, even though I love cheese. I had cut out cheese,
Oh, yes,
eggs,
I love
everything, and
cheese.
then salmon did it.
You eat
Yeah.
cheese, Azard?
Yeah, I like cheese. I mean, it's
Let's
probably
hear.
not the healthiest, but
Oh
it's
my
No,
goodness.
cheese is good.
It's very
Cheese
tasty.
is good. It's not like
especially-
you. Yeah, no,
especially
cheese is
the
good.
I like the cheddar cheese. I like the Jamaican pan processed cheese. That
Oh
That
God, I hate
cheese.
that cheese.
Oh my God, that cheese could go
I'm always the
with
minority
bread
in the room
very well.
What's
when it comes
your
to that
favorite?
cheese. Well, I like cheddar. And
I'm sure he's gonna say Gouda cheese is his favorite.
Well, I tend to like
I
I
like
like all
brie.
cheese as long as yes,
I like
brie.
brie.
Yes.
Camembert, even though a lot of
Camembert,
persons don't
yes.
like it 'cause of the
Roquefort,
smell.
I like all of
Yes.
those. Yes, I like the.
You like Swiss cheese, don't you?
Actually,
Definitely
Swiss
a
cheese
cheese.
is low down the list, but
Yeah, I find that
eat
it lacks that
be-
taste.
It's
It's
because
a bit
drier.
bland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm definitely a cheese
if you put it in a
person.
sandwich and you say you grill the sandwich, it's fine. But yeah. But I remember when I was studying, right?
Yeah.
I did my internship with one of my professors, right? And he had a Christmas party, and we went up to his ranch, and that was the first time I had the charcuterie thing. You know, with all the fancy cheeses.
Charcuterie, yes. See, right up my alley. This
Yeah.
is why I can't.
Yeah.
Can't subscribe to
Charcuterie.
the
I always
WHO.
say it wrong. Yeah. Okay, anyway.
I'm going to tell the
So brie-
WHO about you.
Camembert, all the nice cheese. I was like, oh my God. I really like the brie too. But we seem to have similar tastes. I really like the brie and
Yes.
and prosciutto. The prosciutto ham.
Definitely planning a ham.
Yeah.
So
You know who's not getting invited, right? Not calling any names.
So you're not going to have tasty cheese at your cheese party? The pan cheese?
It's not happening.
Probably not.
Is it not
Maybe for bun.
sophisticated enough?
Maybe in a bun. It's really good in a bun.
That's a running joke with my cousin in Toronto, because when he's married to an Antiguan, right?
Yeah.
So when I go, well, they weren't married at the time, but when I'd go to visit them, like Easter, and
Yes.
Jamaicans and the bun and cheese stuff, and so
Yes.
they do that. Everybody, all the Caribbean people,
And
they
it's
do that.
so good.
Yeah, the
And they're like,
cheese
and I'm
is
like,
really
I'm
good.
like, no, I'm not eating that Jamaican cheese. I don't like it. And they're like,
Serious?
yeah, I'm like literally the only person in the house with there's like 15, 20
Jam
people at
so
the
I
house.
really
so-
can't jump on that one with
Jam,
you.
so
I'm
you
like,
never
no.
had a good pan cheese that come out of the
Oh, I
tin?
had it as a kid, but I never liked
In
it.
a nice, warm,
Yes.
sticky bun.
Yeah.
Oh, my
when the
goodness.
bread is fresh and hot.
That I get,
and then
but
you put it in with the cheese.
that I get, but it's better with
Now
the
you're
other
talking
cheeses.
to me.
It's better with the other
I
cheeses.
remember
though.
as a child, I used to go across the road. There was a guy named Shaka. Well, he's still alive, but he had a shop there. And Shaka used to sell bread and cheese, and I used to religiously go across
Where's
the
this
road.
in Old Road?
In Old Road to get that bread and cheese.
Bread and cheese.
I remember that fondly and my little bag juice. I used to buy my bag juice from
Nothing
Station
like warm,
Street.
fresh bread with a piece of cheese in it.
Remember the bag
Hello?
juice?
Yeah, the
Oh,
bag
of course,
juice.
of course.
Yeah. Wait, I'm
The
not
one that
saying-
was made here at
Yeah.
Marlon.
The purple was
Yeah.
my favorite. It would
Yeah.
always mess up my school shirt.
Yeah.
But it was my favorite.
it was-
You know what I could remember? I remember vividly buying that bread and cheese with that bag drink, that bag juice, and sitting down watching the Snorks or the Smurfs.
Oh my goodness, those were my two favorite cartoons.
You ever notice that sometimes you're hanging out with friends, right? And it's just those simple pleasures is like
Yeah.
it's like the
Those
best
Nova
memory.
Yes.
Corn curls.
'Cause
oh
I
my
remember
goodness.
I had a
Curls.
similar thing. I had a similar thing like you, Azard. As a kid, I used to play baseball in the park with there's a Kitishon who used to live in the Dominican Republic, and he came back. And he used to be a carpenter. You might know him, Candy. He died now, but he used to be a carpenter. He had a carpenter shop down on the Market Street there, but his name was Mr. Rose.
I think
But-
I know where you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And almost to the bottom by
Yes.
Central.
Right.
Yeah, on that side. And we used to have basketball, and when we were finished, we used to go over to Pappy's shop up in Dorset.
I know, Pappies.
Yes, and
yes.
and he baked his own bread. So bread and cheese and slathered with butter, and
Simple
the
things.
bread is
yeah,
hot.
the
The bread
butter.
just came out. The bread just came out of the oven.
Simple things.
you know what I'm
Just the
saying?
Simple pleasures.
Yes.
You know,
You.
every year there's a new study that comes out about something that you shouldn't eat that is not good for you. I remember when it was tomatoes, right?
Not
and
eat
then
really
yes, because it would cause cancer. And then
tomatoes.
it
It's
was
the opposite.
no, they've now reversed
Yeah,
that,
exactly. I
right?
never heard
And
that.
then it was these potted meats. And then it just every minute is something else that you can't eat, and I'm just over it. Because whether you're healthy or you're overweight, we're all going one place. So I will take it into consideration and I'll do all things in moderation, but I'm not giving up my salty snacks.
You're not.
No.
I'm going to report you to the WHO.
Tell them bring Cheez-Its when they're coming.
So
all things in moderation, but I do take note of what you've said. And I do believe in moderation in everything. In if you're gonna intake alcohol, even medication. For those that are now pushing the whole marijuana field, I support it because there are a lot of health uses. But again, everything in moderation.
yes.
So salty snacks, sweet snacks, salt intake, sugar intake. Everything in moderation.
Yeah. Guys, I just saw an article on Loop News that was posted like 4 minutes ago.
Wow. Fresh.
Well, no, sorry. It was, what's today? It was posted on the 8th of March. But
What
it
is
says
it?
a 4-minute read. But I'm just going to go through it just briefly. And it
Hit
says
us.
women on St. Kitts and Nevis. It says that you should know. You understand? And they have highlighted some women. They say Dr. Lenore Haney. She is one of the first on the then colony of St. Kitts and Nevis and Anguilla. She was the first female student from St. Kitts to win the Leeward Islands Scholarship. So in 1942,
Wow.
Dr. Lenore Haney was the first lady to win the Leeward Islands
How has
Scholarship.
this not been mentioned anywhere here before? Have you heard this before? This is news to me.
Yeah, it is news. And it says here, Marcella Liber, Dame Marcella Liber is also mentioned. They said that she is the first woman to serve as the Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis when she replaced Tapley Seaton on February 1st, 2023.
Right.
Another lady is Miss Inez Barker. She is the first female photographer and studio owner on St. Kitts and Nevis. So that's Inez Barker.
Right.
We have another one, Bronte Welch. I'm sure everyone knows the school,
Right.
Bronte Welch.
Right.
They said that the field of nursing is one that has great respect in the Caribbean, and one woman who has been at the forefront of this noble profession on St. Kitts and Nevis is Bronte Welch.
Oh.
Welch started her career in the medical field at the age of 19 as a nurse. And so they're saying that she's one of the pioneers when it comes to
nursing
here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And they have another one, Ada Andrews. Another pioneering woman in politics on St. Kitts and Nevis is Ada Andrews. Born on the island of Antigua, Andrews was trained as a teacher and rose through the rank of the service in her homeland and St. Kitts and Nevis.
Wow.
They said following her retirement from the civil service, Edwards entered the trade union movement and became the acting editor of the Labour Spokesman, which was a publication of the St. Kitts Trade and Labour Union. In 1978, following the death of Speaker Glassford, she was elected by the members of Parliament to be the first female Speaker of the House of Assembly.
Here in St. Kitts.
Here in St. Kitts.
You know, it's funny because
and
I think
Nevis.
someone called in or someone would have mentioned when our speaker was here visiting if she was the youngest. She actually mentioned it. And she said she was doing research to find out if she was the youngest. Because we know they've had other female speakers.
Yes.
But it would be good for us to keep some of this information.
Yes.
And it brings me back to the guest that we had from the Jenkins leadership course and their Icons Park. I know they said they were constantly adding names.
Yeah.
These are some good names to add because the first one that you mentioned is completely new to me. I'm happy to learn of it.
Yes.
And so now I'm going to go do more research because I don't like not knowing.
So guys,
So thanks for pointing that out.
Imagine the first female speaker of the House of Assembly is Miss Ada Andrews, and that would have been before St. Kitts gained independence.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
guys, hold up a sec. It's 8:27 Island Tea Time, Friday, March 10, 2023. And, you know, our next segment was supposed to be the beach volleyball teams, both teams. They can't make it today. We're going to reschedule for next week, but you know what the consolation prize is?
What's that, Jamster?
Sean will get to tell everyone that he can't make it and that we're going to reschedule for next week, but at least we get to hear Sean and Brenda's voice.
Yes.
Good morning, Azard and Candice. How are you all doing?
Wonderful.
I'm hoping things are going well. And belated International Women's Day greetings to you, Candice.
Thank
and
you.
I'm recognizing that what is being featured are the achievements and accomplishments of very prominent women in our society. So that's something very good that we are doing here. Unfortunately, we can't continue or honor our commitment of giving a full volleyball package this morning. However, myself and Brenda Allen, we just came by to convey our apologies, but at the same time, we want you to know that when we come back, it's bigger and better, because we are coming back with Janelle Howell Lake as well as St. Clair Hodge, and we're going to give you the complete rundown of how things went in St. Lucia for the Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association Championships and projections for 2023. This is a very busy year. We have the Central American and Caribbean Games, or Central Caribbean Games as it's now known, as well as the Pan American Games. So the Central Caribbean Games are in El Salvador at the end of June, July, around there. And then you have the Pan American Games slated for Chile at the end of October. So 2023 is what we call a quadrennial year, in the sense that things are going according to 4-year periods. So we have the major games, the Olympic Games, the Pan American Games, the Commonwealth Games, the Central Caribbean Games. All these are held every 4 years. So that's how we operate in volleyball. We plan accordingly for a cycle, the 4-year cycle. So this year we are honoring 2 cycles, Central Caribbean and Pan American Games. So don't forget to tune in next Tuesday, or hopefully sometime next week, where we'll be giving a comprehensive account of what's going on with volleyball in St. Kitts and Nevis. And hopefully this is a plug for Azard to tell Shaju to revisit the volleyball court and get some action going. Right, Brenda?
Yes, yes.
Good morning to everyone. That's correct.
Good morning.
We will definitely be back, God's willing, to give you all the information in terms of volleyball and to answer all in any of your questions, and hope Azad that they fall on the correct ears.
Yes, yes. I'll speak to her after the show.
Thank you so
She
much
is
for
a lover of
stopping in.
volleyball, and
Oh, I know.
and when she went to Jamaica, she played for her school.
She did, yes.
Nice.
We keep a track of all our volleyballers.
Yeah.
Trust me.
It was nice hearing
Thank you
from
so much
both
for
of you
popping
this
in.
morning.
Thank you. You will hear from us again, God's
Awesome,
Great.
awesome,
We look forward to that
wonderful.
interview.
Yes.
will. All right. Have an
Have a
awesome
good-
weekend.
Thank
Yes,
you, my dear.
yes.
Same to you.
Okay, bye-bye. See you next week.
So you've been given a message to convey.
Yes, I'm going to tell her about volleyball. I'm going to tell her about that she is needed back on the team.
So Shadra plays.
Yes, she does.
Oh,
She
okay.
she is a player of this sport.
Are you into sports? Did you play?
When I was in primary school, I played football. I won't say I was the best, but I did
But
something.
did you? So you don't? After that, you kind of just hung up your socks.
I did the most after that. I did taekwondo.
Oh.
I went up to, I think at the time, I think they have some changes. I went up to red belt.
Oh.
In fact, during the taekwondo, there was a local testing here, and I skipped from white. I skipped yellow belt, which was went from white to green. So
Oh,
I
wow.
skipped the yellow
I better
belt.
watch it.
You
My
better watch
I'm watching
yourself.
my brash
When-
comments
yeah,
now.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you're stressing out my host, you better check yourself.
Yeah, but that's the sports I did. What about you, Candy? What sports
I
did
did.
you?
I played quite a lot of sports in school. Volleyball, badminton, cricket, basketball. Unfortunately for me, or I don't know if it was fortunate, when I attended secondary school first and second form, my uncle ran the physical education unit. So I had to do everything, including gymnastics.
But at least he goes to the gym, so.
Right?
Yeah.
When
So
I
there's
moved
that.
to St. Kitts,
There is that.
I did track and field. So I did high jump, long jump, and a few races. But then after third form, I kind of
You should be good at
high jump because of my height, right?
Yes.
And long jump.
Yes, and long jump.
Yes, for about 2 years at my old school, I held the record for long jump. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So and my mother was very athletic, and my dad. But For me, it was just way too much.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break, 8:32. And I come back. I'm gonna share a couple stories with you guys, and of course, listeners, the phones are open. So anything we were talking about and you want to join in, feel free, because everyone's canceling on us this morning. You know what I told them out there just now? I said I think you guys have a cabal, and you all decided that you're not coming.
Yeah, I think they maybe it is that they want us to talk about more stories on this Friday.
It could be.
It could be.
Easy going Friday.
Oh, and before we go to the break, just to let people know, there's no Know Your View at 10 with Sandra Queeley.
What is happening today?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
It's easy going Friday.
Yeah, and no Fireproof at 9:30.
Yeah.
So
Right.
all apologies. Oh, and we need to send out some condolences to Sandra Queeley and her family.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Presumably someone passed away.
That would explain everything.
I was told
Yeah.
someone
So
passed
our
away. They didn't say who.
deepest
Our
Yeah.
deepest sympathy, Sandra.
To Sandra,
Yeah.
yes, and Keith.
Yes. And
Okay, so let's take a quick break and we can come back. I have a pretty interesting story, automotive story, when we come back.
Oh, we'll stick and
Okay.
stay to hear what you have to say.
You will.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
I love our company, Jenkins Funeral Home, because each day for over 65 years, we come to work motivated to give you first-class service. We take care of you and your loved ones during the most difficult period of your life. We remove the stress and worry that comes with losing a loved one. In fact, due to the confidence in our company, we have taken care of heads of state, those in public care, and in families from infants to grandparents, including the prearranged. We have been able to do this due to the acquisition of first world education, knowledge and skills, modern equipment and facilities. We are available to you 24 hours per day. At Jenkins Funeral Home, we take care of you and your loved ones.
Horseroads Building and Nevis Centers are making lawn and garden easy. Come to Horseroads Building and Nevis Center now and get 25% off store-wide on our entire lawn and garden department. Yes! For the months of February and March, Horseroads Building Center and Nevis Center is making improving your lawn and garden easy with 25% off all garden supplies, garden equipment, garden accessories, including weed eaters, lawnmowers, and much more. Get 25% off all lawn and garden items happening now at Horseroads Building Center in St. Kitts and Nevis. Horseroads Building and Nevis Centers, making home improvement easy.
And we're back. It's 8:35 and spilling the tea right up until 10 o'clock here in Island Tea. Everyone's canceled on us, but we still love y'all.
With
So-
good reason. They've had good excuses.
But we do have, coming up at 9 o'clock, of course, we have Candice Grandchild and Crystal Joseph from Modern Elegance, my neighbors. They little, I remember I told you they're literally across the street from me. So we're going to be hearing from them at 9 o'clock. But I wanted to talk about this. Actually, I've had this story for about 2 weeks and I haven't been able
And
to.
you've kept it to yourself, Jamster?
No. We just never had time. We never had time to. You know how many stories I have saved that we haven't gotten to? Okay, where is it?
Take it away.
Yeah. Okay, now so Ford Motor Company. They just announced they patented a system where a car can repo itself.
Oh, yes. I
can
saw
what?
that.
Yeah.
Repossess itself.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
have you seen those repo shows?
Yeah.
So the shows where they take back the cars.
yeah.
I saw that
car will do it
article
itself.
and I was cracking up because I know that people will lose their mind because they can lock you out the car.
Yes.
The car can, and they have different programs
Yes,
that they can put on the
yes,
car, right?
yeah.
There's some that will only take you to work, so you can't go anywhere but work.
Yes. Or if you have to go to a hospital.
Right,
So
they'll
it's
take you there.
It's a kind of a scaled like it's going from DEFCON. Which one is the highest one again? 5 or 1?
But
So it's going from DEFCON 1.
There's some
It's like-
vehicles that can actually drive on their own.
Right. So
Yeah.
this has a
Yes.
system whereby if you're not making the payments, of course they'll let you know you're not making the payments, and of course some people will blow it off because
Yes.
they don't really care. the car will shut you out.
And
So the car
so-
will drive itself back to the dealership or
Yes.
wherever you got
Yes.
it from.
Yeah, it sounds-
Or it can be like where they do it in stages.
It-
Like
escalatory,
only,
yeah.
Right. It only allows you to go to work. You can only go to the hospital.
And you know what? It's fascinating how these motor vehicles are now being operated, because I've experienced a vehicle that changes lanes on its own, maintains
Yeah.
the same miles per hour, and actually
Yeah.
being able to deflect to see when something is coming to change lane, to go on the next lane.
But I actually think your car can actually cruise control. It can actually maintain. We don't have enough roads really to use cruise
Right,
control
right.
properly, because we always have to slow down every
yeah.
few.
Listen,
You know?
I've been discovering new things with my car every day. I was driving, I took it to the car wash.
Yes.
And I'm testing it out, to make sure that they did a good job. I opened the door and automatically the car applied brakes and the brakes light came on, so I couldn't move, because it's like, if the car door is open, then you really shouldn't be moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm driving and I see the wipers come on automatically because rain started falling, and I didn't even think it was enough to put the wipers on, but obviously the car felt that it was enough.
Yeah, it's
So
good to
the
have
car
these
put the
smart
wipers
vehicles.
on.
Yeah.
You know, at one point in time, I was trying to lock my vehicle, and I'm like, why isn't the
Why
vehicle
isn't it
locking?
locking? The lights.
Why isn't it locking? The car was still on.
Right.
So I was
And
like,
if your lights are on, it'll go
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it's a good thing.
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
And the cars are becoming closer and closer to like planes, because you ever look in the cockpit and it's like, what does all that stuff
All
do?
these buttons.
I
I'm
know.
still
Yes.
going through the manual
You-
of mine.
You realize the cars have radar, for example. And there was I always remember there's a very effective ad, and apparently the ad was so effective that Volvo just took the ad wholesale from Sweden
Yes.
and ran it in the US. It was an ad where it was one of those Volvo SUVs, and the guy's wife is pregnant, and maybe her water broke, and they just rushed out to the car, and he's in a hurry and stuff, and their garage is like two hedges that are like maybe 7 feet high.
Right.
So he's rushing, and he backed out. He's trying to back out because he's leaving, and the car just and it stopped, and then a car passed. So they
Right.
looked at each other, and then at the end it says Volvo, drive safely.
Right,
So they were
right.
highlighting the fact that the car has
Safety
safety
brakes,
features
right,
where if
so
something
it'll
is
stop.
coming, So I thought that was a pretty effective.
I thought you were going to
ad.
talk about the one when the dog was driving the Subaru.
Oh,
Dog
I've seen
tested.
that. I've seen that. Yeah.
No, but cars are definitely becoming
Yes.
smarter.
They
And
are.
Everything for that matter.
And you guys heard about Digicel? In a move to shed debt, they sold the owner, the Irish. I think his name is McDonald. I think. He sold majority shares, I'm assuming, to his financiers. So I'm wondering what that's going to mean for us going forward,
In terms of
because
service.
because a lot of these investment funds, they're really brutal and they would, let's say, brutally pragmatic about their investments and getting their money back, and they might just decide that maybe
I know Digicel
know?
has been going through the works for quite some time, quite a few years. They restructured, and I thought that for sure they had gotten things on hand, but I stand to be corrected.
yeah. So folks, is there anything at all you guys want to talk about, you can give us a call. Just sharing a bunch of stories you thought were interesting.
Guys, listen to this. Alicia challenging gender stereotypes as a heavy machinery operator. So a 19-year-old by the name of Alicia Duggan did not stop. She's here, and she's from Guyana, it seems, a Guyanese woman in a male-dominating field. So she is operating heavy machinery, and she is breaking the stereotypes that women are only supposed to be doing certain jobs. So here is Alicia from Guyana actually being a part of heavy machinery operations.
Does it say that she got opposition? Was it that she wasn't given the job because she was female?
Well, let me see what
Because
it says.
how complicated is it to why do men think that they're the only ones that can operate heavy machinery?
Hey, we have company. Let's take a call.
Okay, let's go.
Island
caller.
T. Island T, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning,
Oh, hey.
gentlemen
Hey,
and
what's up?
Lady Bear.
Okay.
Yes, good morning.
Jamster, I'm happy that you say, guys, you can call in with whatever you want to touch on.
Okay, let's
This is
not
Jeremy
go too
here.
far off the reservation now.
Jamster, I want to touch on something that I came across on one of my African platforms that I'm following. It's pertaining to a visit by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Now, this foreign minister from Russia been visiting the African countries, more so like South Africa and other African countries. But here what is happening from the European chief, Joseph Borrell. Now, Joseph Borrell have stated that Europe is a garden and other countries are a jungle.
Oh boy.
Now, he went further to say that the garden should be protected by the gardeners, but the gardeners should go into the jungle. And he is saying that Europe is a garden and should be protected by Europeans. Now, he went further to state that Africa, now just give me a second, let me go to my notes. He went further to say that African countries are easy targets. No, we have Joseph Borrell here being so plain and bold with his racism. And he's not hiding. These are the things that I am saying now that we need to condemn, because when we look at the role of NATO, Europe and America, we know their capabilities of making an example of. Now, we as Africans, we don't have any weapon. What do we have? We have our unity. We have unity. We have our voices. Because they now feel so comfortable that they can make bold statements by saying things like, oh, we are easy target, and they can get away with it. We have to stop these things now, because it is happening that African countries now, African leaders, we know that they are in fear, because whether they are corrupt or they are in fear due to corruption and afraid of being assassinated if they stand up. But we are seeing today that African leaders are now saying no. We are not going to accept your contracts that does not benefit Africa. Secretary of State Blinken was in South Africa since the year began, and he is saying indirectly that if you don't take a stand with Ukraine, sanction or else, they like to push the sanctions on our leaders in Africa. It has to come to an end. We cannot continue allowing them with their narrative and their agenda, which is misery for us, and it goes on. Jamster and Azard and the young lady there.
Candy.
We are in a new dispensation, and change is unstoppable. We as Africans globally, on the continent, in the diaspora, we have to create our own edifice of power, our own edifice of autonomy, our own edifice of strength. Because those colonizers, we have a common enemy. Make no mistake about this. And that common enemy has interrupted our space, they have disrupted us, and they have divided us. So they have no interest in our unity. It is happening on the continent, it's happening in Haiti. Everywhere that black are inhabited, but have minerals and resources, they have raped us, and they are exploiting our minerals. Can you imagine, going forward, guys, if we unite with the continent, if we make connect with the continent, with all the raw materials and resources that the continent have, do you think we down here in the diaspora would be poor?
But that is one of the questions I wanted to ask
just,
you.
Just let me finish. Just let me finish before my credit run out.
Sure.
No, I'm going to finish shortly, and I'll listen to you guys after here. They have created generational wealth out of Africa. Now, what if we manage our own resources? Should we want to go to Europe and America? We would want to go to Africa. But as they are telling us not to go there, but they are there. What are they there for? They're not there to make Africans' lives better. So let us manage our own resources that was given to us by the Most High, and then we get them out of our space, but invite them on our terms and conditions. Because they have cut up our continent in 1884, and not one African was present. So let us unite and let our voices be heard, because we should not be at the tail, as they put it in the scripture. We are the head. We are the first frequency. We are the firstborn. Even this language that we are speaking is a spell for us from them to keep us just where they have us.
Well,
thank you for hearing me, guys.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for your call.
The upside to that is probably, I don't know if you've heard recently that the talking to the caller and you guys, of course, the African Import-Export Bank is apparently going to be opening here. So I guess hopefully, I think that was one of the things they wanted to address at the sitting of the Parliament this week. So hopefully we'll now start to see a situation where we can actually get financing from the African Import-Export Bank. So that's a step in the right direction. So I mean, he was mentioning some of the bad things in relation to Africa and its lack of agency compared to the rest of the world. So the Africa Import-Export Bank coming here, let's hope that's a step in the right direction.
I feel like what he's proposing is easier said than done. I know we've tried to connect with African countries before. Just before the whole Gaddafi issue, where he was hunted down and killed, we were in talks to have a bank here.
Oh yeah, the Libyan
and
bank.
That was right.
Yeah.
It was the Libyan bank, and that's because Libya because it's been plundered so much from since that period to now, was one of the richest countries in Africa, and Gaddafi was managing it so well that he was attempting to bring a bank here so that we could have closer ties to Africa. And of course, the Americans came in with sanctions. And, one of the issues that we're having is that when we don't subscribe to the sanctions, we're squeezed. I mean, we've seen FinCEN come in. We've seen this whole sanction that the U.S. and Europe has put on the world in terms of the Russia and the Ukrainian war.
In short, they don't want us to have any agency. Caller, go right ahead. We have a caller. Let's take the caller.
Hi, good morning, caller.
Sometimes they're not. They don't know they're actually on.
Azard and the new host there.
Hi,
Yes, morning.
First I'm calling in since the lady host has joined the team, and she is welcome.
Thank you.
She is.
And timely, because we are celebrating what? Women's Day?
Yes,
Women's Week?
Yes.
We're taking the month.
Good. I'm glad you touched on the whole banking monetary system. And as a point of departure, I just wish to say that there are some recent developments. It has surfaced a few months ago or prior to this new administration, but I know it would pick up steam, so to speak, because the European Union and the U.S. and those hegemonic countries would have indicated that our CBI program, and it's not just restricted to St. Kitts and Nevis, so let us not get it all twisted. When we are talking about unification, be it the Haitian matter or sisters and brothers, it is a bigger picture, because if we tend to turn a blind eye and do not show solidarity with one aspect, be it social or political, it will have the implication to ripple effect and affect our economic stability. Here we have our CBI program. We were innovative enough to do things to help ourselves and not depending on aid and the like. and having to be sustainable in the sense that we're not always going to run to IMF. Yes, IMF is there to serve a purpose as to advise. But when we craft our own niche, when we plot our own course, and we are able to finance certain things on our own, we will stand much better in this scheme of things. And here is it now. We wait to see if these nations are going to buckle, the OECD countries that are part of the CBI, I think it's 4 or 5 of them, and to stand together. Because if we be foolhardy and decide, for instance, St. Kitts Nevis or Grenada, or one of the others decide to go it alone, it's not going to happen. So I am sending a clarion call, I'm sending a warning, and also the connection with Big Brother Africa. Bearing in mind, Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. And interestingly, I think it's sometime this month, South Africa is going to host the BRIC countries. And there are other countries that are showing commitment to join the BRICS. As we know, Russia, China, India, South Africa, and Brazil, and now other countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Turkey, Egypt, Algeria, Nigeria, and South Africa, a South and Southern American country of Argentina, to name a few, are showing interest in that group, that BRICS group.
What's your point?
All economic and otherwise.
Okay.
So we are seeing the potential.
Okay, Carl, I'm going to have to wrap you up now. Make your point quickly. Make the point, because I have to wrap you up. I have one other thing to talk about. We have a guest at 9 o'clock.
So that is where we're at. It's simplifying it within our little space and the threat of our CBI program by the European Union and the United States.
Okay.
So this is a whole conversation that we have to dispense.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for that call.
One other thing I wanted to talk about before our 9 o'clock is actually here. It's 6 minutes until 9 o'clock. One of the things I wanted to talk about, since we're talking about this bank stuff and agency, African diaspora agency and stuff like that. An IMF mission led by Mr. Alexandre Chailou, who visited St. Kitts Nevis during January 16 to 27, 2023. The upshot of that meeting was outlook is positive, but risks are somewhat tilted to the downside. I sent it to you guys, so you guys can always take the weekend to think. But this, I really hope this could generate some discussion later on in the show, if we revisit it. But I just wanted to highlight some of the things that were suggested
coming out of the meeting.
Yes, IMF. So they're recommending personal income tax. Number 2, return of corporate tax to previous levels. Number 3, streamlining income support, i.e. no PAP. Right? Yeah.
Wait.
That is no PAP, no peace.
This is what the IMF report
this is what they're suggesting.
For us to get back on track.
Yeah. They've been doing that forever.
But they have been doing that forever.
Wait, the fourth one. Let me just get the fourth one and then we can. Removal of electricity subsidies.
I know you didn't see it. You were too calm.
You didn't see it.
Yeah,
no, but I know. They have suggested this in the past with the former administration.
Yes, they did.
But those suggestions weren't considered, and the former administration did whatever it could to ensure that those didn't happen, because of course, I'm not saying, and we have to look at the financial situation, but luckily the former administration during the time was able to manage the country in such a way that those suggestions were not implemented.
Yes. I mean, we know this is a litany year after year.
Oh, it is. And like you said, like you rightly said, it comes back to the finances and how we manage it. To give Jack his jacket, at that point in time, the CBI was booming. And that is one of the things that we get most of our income from, because tourism at that point was still trying to pick up. And, we've long since closed the sugar factory. So CBI is our main source of income.
The IMF,
But the thing with this one is now that with all the sanctions, and it goes back to what we were alluding to earlier, with all the sanctions in the world, we're being limited with the amount of persons that we can do business with FATCA, with the common reporting standards. Is CBI still going to be bringing in those figures?
Let's look at this situation. The IMF has always made recommendations, because what they do is recommend, especially as you borrow from them, they will give recommendations. They have also in past said that the government service is too large and to cut the number of persons that the government employ. And so even with that suggestion, we see that the government is still one of the largest employer within St. Kitts and Nevis. So the IMF, again, has its recommendation, but I always say that one has to look at the impact on the locals and how these recommendations would affect our local situation. Because when you talk about personal income tax, we realize that it was removed. And I don't know which government would re-implement such, because at this time when you see that salaries aren't increasing, when you see that inflation has increased, when you see that a number of persons are still struggling
and
to impose taxes at this time,
very much in existence. It hasn't risen.
To paraphrase the Sopranos, I don't think any government has the balls of brass to
his favorite
to do any of those things.
But like you said, the IMF, that's what they do. They come in, they assess, they recommend, and then it's left for the persons on the ground to implement to the best of their ability. So we'll see what comes.
That's why it's best to manage the affairs in a way that you don't have to borrow from the IMF.
Exactly.
Okay, we got 1 minute.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
We will definitely get back to that.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe you guys can look at it in the meantime, and then I would love if after the Modern Elegance segment, maybe we could have I know Mr. McMahon and Sylvie will probably wanna wait on that.
Yes.
Let's take a quick break. We have Modern Elegance coming up right after the break.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Stand by. 2 minutes after 9 o'clock. Island Tea continues. And more tea to be spilled. This time it's with Candice Grant Charles and Crystal Joseph of Modern Elegance, my neighbors right across the street.
Good morning, ladies, and welcome to Island Tea.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem.
And this morning, as we wrap up International Women's Day, and I keep saying we're taking the month. Nobody's is really buying on to it, but now maybe I can have some persons to back me up.
Yes, we're taking the month. Yes.
You give them an inch and it
Yes.
And we're doing it in heels.
Exactly, yes. Nails and heels.
Hey,
So
that's-
as we wrap up the month, we're going to have these two lovely young ladies come share with us some of the activities that they've had. I know they had an amazing cocktail event, and so we're going to get right into it.
Yes.
Yes, so Crystal, you want to take this or you want me to take this?
Take it away. Right behind you.
Okay, so we had an event called WIN this weekend, Women Inspiring a Nation. And how this event was birthed, Crystal and I, we usually out and about just living life and having fun. And what I said in my speech at the event was that the content of our conversation during those outings are usually about what can we do, how can we help, how, what's next. And usually when we're out, we're seeing like different women, and we're like, it would be so good to have a conversation with that person or to speak to that person, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we're like, somebody should have an event where we could just go and speak in a relaxed environment. I was like,
and just
Why not
pick
us?
their brains, right?
yes,
Right,
pick their
right,
brains,
right.
like, get inspired by it. And you're like,
Yeah, why not us?
why can't
That's
we do
somebody's
it?
Exactly.
Why can't we be that somebody's
Exactly.
us? Yeah, right?
Exactly.
And we went,
If
yeah.
there's a change that you want to make, you have to make that change.
Precisely.
Be the
You.
change.
Exactly.
Be the
Be the
Thank you,
Yeah.
Azard.
You said it perfectly.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Perfect.
it was a few weeks ago, and we were like, it would be so great to launch this for Women's Month, International
Yes.
Women's Month, and we were like, let's try to get it done the weekend before, so that we can meet with these people. We don't want to do it on the day because there's always something happening
Exactly.
on the
And
day.
then with your
Yeah.
background in photography, at least you would have the photos to publish on the day.
Exactly.
Right,
yes,
right.
yes. We weren't even thinking
about
that far. We were just like, let's have that. And then we sent out some invitation. We started with our corporate partners,
Yes.
which is who was at the event, the different ladies who we do work with on a
Right.
regular basis. And we were like, it would just be nice to see these ladies in a more relaxed setting.
forum.
And oh my God.
OMG.
How many persons did you guys end up having?
We had 30 plus because there was another engagement as well that
Yeah,
evening.
somebody else tried to take our shine.
Oh.
Yeah, but we really did get a good turnout. We
good turnout.
invited about 35 or so
40,
persons,
40,
40
but
persons,
30
and we
plus
got
came.
we got about 33.
That's
or
not
so.
When
bad.
you started planning,
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't have that number in mind.
Actually, we did.
You did?
We
Yeah.
did. We
Oh,
did.
wow.
Because, of course, in planning an event, you'll have a budget, so you'll have to know how many persons will be there, etc.
Preach.
But
Miss Planner.
yes, but it was really overwhelming. The responses.
Oh,
it was
my.
just amazing, honestly.
We really didn't expect to have like such a great response.
Wow.
Like when we were at the event, even us when we were at the event, when we saw persons like
Coming,
interacting
yeah.
and coming together, and we're like halfway through the event, persons was like, oh my God, this is
good."
amazing.
You
This
know,
is so needed.
yeah.
What I love is the acronym,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Women inspiring a
A
nation,
nation, correct.
right?
Yeah.
And I love that you guys had quite a number of young persons on it.
course.
Some of them that I've known since they were like 8, just to name drop Patrice. And I was like, yeah, I was so happy because usually the misconception is that women can't get along. We always
Yes.
cat fighting. We pull each other down. But why can't we fix each other's crowns,
Yes,
right?
of course.
Precisely.
And so I love the concept of the event. Congratulations to
Thank
you
you
guys.
so much.
I'm not sure if it's a name thing, but
And that,
good
no,
job,
but that,
Candice.
that
Good
was
job.
that was another part of it where we wanted to bring the OGs, so to
Yes,
speak,
yes.
as well as young women,
Newbies,
so that
Yes.
the newbies, so each person can learn from. Because I was inspired by a young lady. Oh my God, I'm gonna put her on the spot again. Kilsey, I keep calling your name.
Yes.
Kilsey, which is my nail tech.
Oh,
and
nail tech.
Oh my God, I'm claiming her right. I'm like, my nail tech. Yes, she started. She was. Yeah, we were having a conversation, and I was so inspired by her. She was actually at the event.
Yes.
And during the event, I was like, young ladies like these. It would be so far and few in between, if ever, that
Yes.
they're in a room with
Yes,
all of
yes.
these powerhouses
Right.
and can learn and be inspired.
And take that
from it.
opportunity.
Exactly, to
Let's
have a
take that
conversation.
opportunity.
Exactly.
Of
So
course.
it was like that. We're learning from these powerhouses, and then they're learning from.
Right.
How did
Because
you-
of course,
Mike-
you still have something that you can impart, even though you might
Of
not have
course,
gotten there.
a little
just
child
yet.
shall lead that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My question is, how did you come up with the list actually? How did you select these ladies to be a part of the cocktail?
So initially, when we were talking about it, we were planning like, why not us? So a lot of the women that we see or we encounter when we're hanging out, just having fun, we're like, it would be so dope to have a conversation with this person, or we would say to each other how inspiring that person is to us, without even ever having a conversation
Yes.
with them. And that typically happens very often, where I might be inspired by you, or I admire your work, and I don't really say it to you, but I might
Yes.
say it to a friend. However, in thinking about the list, we thought about our corporate clients. We're like, how do we start? Of course, there are so many women that we're inspired by, or many women that we see from a day to day, but we said, to start it right, let's start with our corporate
And
clients.
not to cut you off, Crystal, like we were sincerely like, do you think people are gonna come
Come,
to our
yeah,
event?
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go with people who we know.
Exactly. Yes, people who we know.
Supporters, of course.
Yes,
Of
yes.
course.
And so when they came and they were like, oh, thank you so much for having us. Thank you for inviting us. And it was another way to say thank you.
Yes.
And even though when we interact with them on a business level. However, there's no opportunity really to
For
have
personal
to just have a
conversation,
personal
yeah.
conversation, to connect or to interact and say, hey, thank you outside of work. You are so amazing. I admire your fashion sense or whatever it is. And so when we had the event, a lot of persons were like, oh my God, thank you for having this. And we started off with a little icebreaker, not
Yes.
the typical icebreaker. And I think that set the tone
That
for the
set the
entire
entire tone,
event.
yes. It
So
was-
one of the things that was plaguing me, I shouldn't say plaguing, I was so curious.
Yes.
And it's always like a good question to ask. What are some of the things that inspire you? Because everybody takes inspiration from different things. I know you said, like, I love your fashion sense. And what are some of the things that inspired you that made you want to have a convo with this person?
Okay, so, oh my gosh, I'll go back to Kilsey again. I like to see people going and just doing it, just like going for it. And I would tell you a small tidbit. I called Kilsey and I said, because this is after we've already done the layout for the event, how we're gonna have it, XYZ, and we was like, okay, well, we need to do a small speech and something. I called Kilsey and I said, Kilsey, am I being on the spot? And she was like, no. I said, can I put you in my speech? Yes.
Bold.
The end. Yes. Like, I said, okay, have a good day. And that was it. Usually people are like, what is it? What you gonna say? Well, and it was just like, no, let's go. Like, she
Bold,
just has
fierce.
that.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And I see it and I love it so much. And I love to see what inspires me is like, I love to see when women just go get it. Like, they're not thinking about it. They just like go. Crystal reminds me so much of that. I'm gonna put you on the spot now. She is one. She is in every. I think people know Crystal more than they know me. She is in everything. Her face is everywhere, and it's just like, yeah, I'll do it. Let's go. We down. She's down for it, and I love that so much. It's just like that bold kind of it's okay, I'll do it. Yes, yes. And I love it. That's what inspires me. I
Nice.
don't know what inspires
Crystal,
me.
you're definitely on the spot now. 'Cause where did you get that
And
from?
The thing about the go-getter spirit, I
Yes.
get that from my mom. I really do get that from my mom. But outside of the go-getter spirit, I'm going to put Candice on the spot. Because, and the thing about it is that we boost up each other, and we have
Amazing.
a great synergy. She's my boss. Fun fact: she doesn't like me to say
Love.
that she's my boss, but she is my boss. And as a young woman, like we're all on the same age group, and I remember before when I met Candice, I thought she was older than I was because she has that type of energy that just commands a space, commands a room, and I'm just like, I love that, like that boss. Powerful energy, I love that. And the thing, and the thing is, a lot of the times when you see women are in that position, they tend to hold back a little bit sometimes. But with Candice, she inspires you, she shares the knowledge, she empowers you, she supports you, and I get that from a day-to-day basis.
You know, I love the
That is
fact that
awesome feedback.
you guys, well, you ladies are boosting each other, because often you find that women tear down other women.
Right.
If
Not
you
over
see,
here.
if you see a woman who is elevating, another woman at times try to bring down that other woman. So it's good to see
Or
that.
hide their shine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Right?
it's good to see that in this room and from this conversation that you have persons feeding off of each other's energy.
Girl fight.
Yes. And what I was explaining earlier in our icebreaker that kind of, set the tone for the entire event is that instead of asking persons to introduce themselves,
Yes.
what we did, for example, if Candice, thank you, I'm horrible with names. Candice was at the event, we would say, Candice, come on up. We would and introduce someone here that you know, say who they are, and tell us what inspires you about them.
I love it.
And so after you would have said, let's say Candice was the person, then Candice would be next, and she would do another person and then another person. And it was just amazing because a lot of the times we don't express this. I don't know why we hold it back. Maybe we're intimidated, we're shy, we're like, I don't know if she's
It's
gonna
the way
speak to me.
society has made us.
Yeah, but at that
they
event,
make us think that we're supposed to be against each other.
yeah. But
And it doesn't have to be that way. And at the event, it was so beautiful. Like you saw persons, and people are like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you felt that way about me."
And that's what I was thinking when you were
Yeah.
saying that. You know, to be sitting in an audience and somebody saying that about you, and you're just like, really?
Yeah.
You noticed that?
Me?
You thought that of
Some
me?
persons
You know?
were even like
Tearing
tearing
up.
up
Yes.
because they didn't expect it, and that is one of the things that we really wanted to achieve. The acronym is not just an acronym by itself. It was actually what we aimed for at the event, for women to inspire a nation. And a lot of the women that were there, they were saying, "I always wanted to meet you, or I never got the opportunity to meet you."
It was a lot.
Not
Not us.
but
We're not us.
the other women.
We were the least.
I'm so glad that we're here and we're getting to meet such and such
Yeah,
person. You know, I always
Because the
admired your
access wasn't
work.
always there.
The access. That is
There you
such
go.
a major thing.
There
Yes.
you go. And that is one of the things that we wanted. We wanted to provide that forum, that platform, nothing too uppity, but really relaxing, chill, cocktails, and it's like very interactive.
Where was it located?
It was at Last Lap Bar.
Last that bar. Okay, nice.
And the venue was so unassuming, right?
Yeah.
Like people were like, so do we, is it jeans and
Yeah.
sneakers? Like what is, I said, hello, dress to the night.
Yeah,
like,
dress to impress.
Right, because I was looking at the photos, I was like, hello. I saw our GM there. She was definitely dressed to the nines. I loved your outfit.
Is that the place behind KFC?
Yes.
yes.
That's over by KFC, yes.
Yes, Sharina definitely
Yes.
killed it. And I saw some other outfits. I was
She
like,
was the
Yeah,
she was the
Listen, I
boss.
was going to the photos. Just
Yeah.
first, I was checking out decor because I can't help it, and then I was checking out outfits because fashion.
Yeah.
But I think you guys did an amazing job.
Thank you
And
so
how long did
much.
it take you guys to put it together? What was your planning like?
We planned it in a space of like a week.
Like
and
a
half. Yeah, like
And it was
was
so that everybody could still make it. On
Right. But before we continue the show, we really want to take the opportunity to give back and also say thank you to our sponsors. But if we're permitted, we would like to do a giveaway.
Oh, sure.
Right,
Nice.
to one of our listeners.
Yes.
Right. So Candice, I'll let you announce what the question is.
Oh,
Or what they'll
awesome.
have to do to get one of our sponsored item from the sponsors.
All right, so we just want to say thank you so much to the persons that came on board as sponsors for our inaugural event. I think we
I
had.
have the list.
You have
if
the
you
list.
want me to
Okay,
go
yes,
ahead.
because I was
Oh,
gonna.
yes, okay.
I was gonna
So
do
we
it.
really want to say a special thank you to Kyle Coke of Firehouse, who provided the sound system, Victoria of Inside SKN, Josh J's Print and Graphics, Azul Printers, JFX. Also sponsors of the giveaways would have been SL Hosford's, TDC, Fache, Necessary Beauty, Pack Hyatt, and Marriott. We also want to say a special thanks to our caterer as well, Mrs. Grant, and of course our photographers who were there. But one of the giveaways...
Yes, Team MEP, thank you so much. I mean, they did such an awesome job with the after video and the photos, right?
Yes.
I was impressed, and I'm not easily impressed by them. So
They were amazing.
they're my team, and I'm the only one that can say that.
After this comment,
She says what she wants.
They're my team. Yeah, they do great work, so it's hard to impress me because the standard is like so high, and I'm like, oh my God, I love it. But yes, giveaway. Yes.
So for one of the whoever is listening, if you're a woman or a man, you can call, give it to your lady.
Also, the men have a chance to win.
Yes.
A nation. Inspiring a nation, not just other ladies. So if you're listening, we'd like for you to call in. We're putting you on the spot as well to say someone who inspires you. So you name them and you say why they inspire you. Why are they an inspiration in your life?
well, that can't be too hard.
No, you can't.
So while we wait, we'll just continue. Yeah, and I remember what I wanted to say when I was talking about the.
We have a caller.
We have a caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, caller. Go right ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, morning.
I'm still alive.
Oh, go ahead. Why?
Tell us why.
She insults a woman. She insults a woman to do anything with her.
Say again, caller.
Like, not for the level.
Yes.
She insults herself.
Sorry, the activity that you're doing in the background is drowning out your voice. Hello? Uh-oh.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry, we couldn't hear your response.
Hello, caller. We're having some trouble hearing you.
Yes, we heard that.
Yes.
But we wanted to know why.
Why?
She insults herself. Hello?
Caller, could you move away from all? You have a whole bunch of noise in the background, and trust me, it's upstaging you big time. So if you can move somewhere quiet.
Yeah, I was saying that she encouraged ladies to do better in their life. No?
Yes, we're hearing you to do better in your life.
Yes. As a matter of life, encourage ladies to do better in their life.
Yes.
They can move on to anything they want to achieve.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
So for you
Good
to
choice.
win, just reach out to us at 660-4897 and you let us know your name and you'll win yourself a prize. Thank you so much for participating.
I'm curious, what are some of the prizes? Maybe I can tell someone to call quickly. What are some of the prizes?
So we have services from Fache and from Necessary Beauty. TDC would have given some really nice items from the home and building.
Yeah, the household department.
Right.
It's really nice.
They have nice pieces.
No cheat codes will be allowed. Phone call. Back to the phones.
Phone
call. Caller, go right ahead.
Hello, good morning. And the phone cut off?
No, I think didn't you come off? Are you the same person that just called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so congratulations. We will be in contact with you to let you know what your price was and to also do the transaction of the winning process.
Will you be able to take the
give her the
information
number again.
off? Yeah. Would you
Sure,
be able to?
sure.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Right, so TDC Home Decor.
Yes, and we also had SL Hosford, who was a sponsor, who would have given out some shopping vouchers as well. So we just want to say a hearty thank you. We really, really appreciate it. And Marriott, who would have given out a day pass, as well as Park Hyatt, who gave out a bunch for two.
Pretty nice prizes.
But some there were, we did the giveaways at the event, so we just had some leftovers.
We had a few left, so we decided we're gonna do some on the way.
I think that's really nice. So, guys, you can call in, and like they said, it's open to male or female. You can share it with a female in your life. Or
So
you
we
can
just have
keep it for
one
yourself.
more giveaway. So for this one, we want to ask a different question. So we would like for you to call in and say, what does win mean? And also name at least 3 other ladies that were there who inspires you as well.
Good question.
So the numbers are 466-0989, 762-0989, and 662-0989. And WIN does not mean West Indian News Network in this context.
I thought he was going to go for Win FM, right?
Serena came after us. She was like, hey, you're too close to our name.
Good thing they have an extra N.
Yeah, there's an extra N in your win.
So guys, call in, let us know what WIN means in this instance, and tell us 3 persons that were there.
So do I get a pity gift, seeing that I'm like the neighbor across the street?
Thought there was no cheat.
No
cheat
codes.
I'm checking. Do as I say, not as I say. Cheat codes for me, not for you.
Listen, if that's the case, I'm definitely hopping on this train.
While we wait for the callers, we just also wanted to say, with the overwhelming responses, a lot of persons were like, well, why didn't I get invited? Or, a lot of persons really wanted. No, honestly, as we mentioned earlier, we wanted to start with our corporate clients. And I think those were like the best persons to start with. We interact with them on a daily basis. And so we would have wanted to say thank you to them as well. But we do intend to do something else. I'm going to let Candice go ahead and piggyback off.
I was hoping that you guys didn't ask us what's next, because we don't know.
That was my next thing. I was like, well, so is this going to be an annual event?
Like,
we haven't we haven't decided as yet if it's going to be annual or quarterly, but based on the overwhelming feedback, not overwhelming in a negative way, but
it's just that we really didn't expect to have that.
off.
Yeah, because there seemed to be an appetite for this type of event. So people were saying, like, once a year isn't enough. So we're thinking maybe like once a quarter, at least biannually or something.
And it really isn't, because like I think I was mentioning earlier, it's good to give persons their flowers while they're still here. And a lot of persons are walking around and you don't know what they're carrying.
And that's true.
There are people functioning under a lot of burden and heavy situations, and sometimes it's just an encouraging word. It just takes one nice compliment. It could be something as simple as, oh, I like the color you're wearing today, or you have a nice smile, and that can change something in someone's life.
That
so I
is
thought
so true.
the initiative was so good, because it brings out not only that complimentary spirit in other persons, but it might boost someone's day. You never know what they're going through. So I don't think once a year. I'm gonna have to agree with your
So we're looking to see how we can do it, what we can, and all of these things. Like, we don't know what it's gonna. I mean, I'm being so honest. This interview was to say thank you to everybody, not to promote anything, because we don't have anything to promote. So hopefully you guys can have us back when we figure it out. When we figure it out.
You are welcome here on Island Tea. Just bring a mug next time and we'll sip.
Yes.
Is it that we're gonna bring them back, providing that they bring prizes or invites?
Think about it.
Thank you, Candy, for that.
We're figuring it out. We have to sit again and go through everything. We really genuinely, I don't know what else to say. We genuinely don't know why, because it just like blew up just a few days ago. So we really just have to sit and think like how we're gonna do it, and if we're gonna make it its own entity with its own. Because persons were asking us for social media pages to tag and to all of that. We were like, This is bigger than us. This is way bigger
Let
than
me hurry and create a hashtag.
Yeah. So you know, all of those things. When we do figure it out, we're gonna come back and speak about that.
And we look forward to having you guys
And
back.
you know, even before we can actually say a date and when, we just want to extend an invitation to you.
Why? Thank you.
So we're inviting you to join the Winners Circle.
Yay.
You're welcome.
Congratulations,
Patrice, I'm
Candy.
here.
Mama, I made it.
Thank you, guys. Thank
You're
you. I'm
welcome.
touched. I really did enjoy going through the photos because I have quite a number of the women that you guys invited on my status. And for me, I'm just seeing like this purple thing. I'm like, what's happening? Right? Because they had like the nice little
The
photo
branding.
prop.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's happening? What's all this purple? Isn't it the 8th? Because you automatically in this month you associate purple with the Women's Day.
Yes.
I'm like, this is something happening early.
yes,
And then I
yes.
saw
We wanted
a couple
to
ladies
kickstart
holding the
week.
props. So good branding too.
Oh, the
Right?
branding was, oh yeah, we loved it so much. Thank you guys for the prints. Thank you for the logos, Team MEP. Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
Team
it was.
Look like you'll be able to go back to office now.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
And if any other persons are wondering what we're talking about, feel free to go on our Modern Elegance page on Facebook or Instagram, and you'll be able to see the highlights, the photos, and everything, the video.
Yeah, in lieu of an official platform for Win, you can go on Modern Elegance or Candice Grandchilds or Christelle Joseph on Facebook and
See some of
you can type it Candice Charles on Instagram. I really don't know what my handle is, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Mine is Chris_I love deals. So that's what my
Yes, this is Miss Deal Finder. For those I'm telling you, she's been in the spotlight.
Oh my goodness.
No, she's been in the spotlight for Miss Deal Finder. And last year, fun fact, she was an intern for the tourism campaign that they did. She was a stylist intern. And this year she got the job. Like, she's the lead stylist, and that's what I'm telling you.
Where
Like,
do you find the time and the energy? Come
that's
on,
the
inspire
drive.
the rest of
That's
us.
the drive that I love to see, because sometimes when persons are a certain age, they're like, intern, hello, no.
Right.
She's like, no, I'll
Take
do
it.
it. I'll
It's
do
a
it.
stepping
It's
stone.
a stepping
And see
stone,
where
and
you are now.
and then it leads to other things. So I really admire that so much. It's just like she's looking like, okay, Candice.
Brilliant. No, but one of the things that I always wonder, what makes you tick? What gets you going? I know Candice has been a busybody for years, right? I've known Candice for quite some time. But still, tell the rest of us, what keeps you going? What makes you tick? Because not every morning you're going to get up like, yeah, let's do this. Or do you? Maybe you get up every morning like, yeah, let's win.
Honestly,
it's not always that way. But one of the things I must say is that I aspire to try to be the best version of myself in any way possible. So when it comes to my creativity, I'm like, okay, what is inspiring you to keep going? And one of the things is wanting to be the best version of myself. So I feel like when it comes to creativity, it's very limitless. And so if you find that you have an interest in this, then you go after it. So with Miss Deal Finder, well, I didn't plan to speak about that, but it was during the pandemic, and sometime last year when I came up with the idea of Miss Deal Finder, because of course you had to cut costs, you had to think about what makes sense in terms of spending, and you want to still look good, you still want to be fashionable. And so with me, always, like when I grew up, my mom always told me to make the best of what you had.
Exactly.
So it was always a part of my lifestyle to look for deals, go on the sales rack. But then I'm like, when I create a platform to show that, style hacks and all of that. And that's how the Miss Deal Finder brand came along. And because of that platform that I created, that's when I got the opportunity to, partner with tourism. Well, when I say partner, they put out the intern flyer, and everybody was like, why don't you do this? And Candice was one of them who was like, go after it, girl. And she was like, I'll approve your vacation days, go right ahead. So it's like, I can't say that I did it all on myself. If I didn't have a supportive friend as well as a boss who was like, okay, I know this is last minute. I'm sorry you can't go. But she was like, go for it. I'll approve the vacation days, you know. And so I was able to do that last year. And this year, as she mentioned, you know, they actually contacted me to be the main stylist, you know. And so when it comes to creativity, I would tell anyone, do not limit yourself. Just do what you have to do. Want to have supportive people as well. You know, connect to the right set of people who are going to inspire you and push you. And the sky is the limit. Do not think you're too small or, you know, people wouldn't acknowledge me. Just believe in yourself and just go after it. And that's really what keeps me going, trying to be the best version of myself no matter what I do.
I love it. Candice, how about you?
What keeps me going? Well, I have bills to pay. I have a
good motivation, right?
Yes, I have a son, a 5-year-old son who eats like a 50-year-old. But I really just. It sounds very cliche. I feel like I want to save the world. I want to see women and young ladies especially to be better. So my mind is always pushing towards that. Not just women and young ladies, but that's mainly my focus. I like to see when women have drive, or when people have drive, and all they need is just a little support, a little guidance, and it's just like, you know, here's the support, here's the guidance, go and fly. I love to see that. Awesome. It warms my heart.
She does it all the time.
It warms my heart. Yeah,
awesome.
So that's my driver.
Well, it's been a wonderful morning with both of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've been inspired. Thank you so much. It's working.
Yes.
No, it was definitely a pleasure. And I'm glad you guys came in on this Friday because it's Feel Good Friday.
Yes.
So this is exactly what we're getting from this
feeling
interview.
good.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. And the invitation is extended to come another time.
Crystal, you heard that right.
Definitely.
Okay, all right, guys.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
one today, guys.
Yes.
Take care.
Well, it's 9:33. We just spilled a whole bunch of tea with Modern Elegance and
we did.
WIN. And we're going to be coming back on the other side. It's Friday, so we're going to be talking entertainment and sports and light stuff. Nothing depressing. nothing about the IMF. We're going to leave the IMF stuff for next week. All right, guys? Let's hear from our sponsors. Okay, what's going on here? Let us go. Here we go.
The radio station so hot, it's cool.
You don't know. You're listening to 98.9.
98.9 Win FM.
Hey kids, drink healthy!
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink from more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking, football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
It's 9:35. And no fireproof today. The firemen couldn't make it today. We had a bunch of scratches today, but it's Friday, so it's cool. And of course, there's always next week. So the next segment, it's all entertainment, sports, and so on, movies, music, and of course, we'll take your calls as well. And we're back. And like I said, call us. Feel free to call us, and we will shoot the breeze. We're gonna keep it light. We're gonna leave all that IMF stuff for next week. Sometime when we actually have like a bean counter type person up in here who can, who can probably explain all that stuff, all that IMF stuff and so on. So
so we'll look for someone that can come in and actually, give us from a not only a point of knowledge but firsthand.
Well, the first thing I wanted to mention was that I thought this was pretty cool. Shaggy is paying it forward.
Yes, I saw that.
Doing his part to help Caribbean artists. He pulled together a bunch of people that he's met over the years from all the big record labels and so on. And he had his first Island Music Conference that was held in Kingston last month. And the idea was basically it was held during Reggae Month. Last month was Reggae Month.
Right.
And so it's a collaboration between Shaggy, Sharon Burke of Solid Agency, and media consultant Judith Beltley. So the speakers came from Pandora. It's a streaming music streaming service, Pandora.
Right.
And Audio Mac, YouTube, Warner Music, BET, Ineffable Records, and BBC One Extra. BBC One Extra is BBC's attempt to be cool.
Isn't BBC cool though, Jamster?
Not really. But anyway, so I thought that was kind of cool because I was having a conversation with Monarch, and Noah started the conversation, and he was suggesting that we were bemoaning the fact that all this great music comes out of St. Kitts Nevis every year, especially in the last maybe 6 years or so since the soca artists, the solo soca artists started to do their thing, and we were talking about how the music never gets anywhere. So no, I don't know if he was serious or joking, but Noah said, well, why don't you, Monarch, and me, as in Noah, get together and we start like a management agency. So I thought of it when I saw the Shaggy story, because the Jamaicans are light years ahead of us as far as their music industry infrastructure and so on.
Right, that is true.
But Shaggy still thought it was necessary to have that conference. And one of the other things,
Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm going to think
there's always more work to be
Yes,
done.
exactly. But I'm going to get to one thing that came up a few months ago. Shaggy himself weighed in on this a few months ago. A producer was saying that he was criticizing the new dancehall artists. He was saying that the music has become very dark,
right,
grim, and it's very pessimistic and very misogynistic as well, and glorifies crime and gangsterism and promiscuity and stuff like that.
And I'm with him on that.
And also the beats are not the beats are not the feel-good beats that we've become accustomed to. That's from the late 80s, 90s, early 2000s. When you think of things like the Diwali rhythm and the Joyride rhythm and all, and how everything was so sunny and upbeat.
But not even just sunny and upbeat. They got the message across without being vulgar.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I am a lover of music. Every single type of music. Dancehall, reggae, soca, calypso. I just love music. And I find that dancehall has become so vulgar that, I used to play dancehall in my house with my parents at home while I did chores or while I just hung out. You can't even play dancehall around
because
nothing sweet. So
yeah.
the music now has become so sexualized.
Yes, it's
that
insane.
its focus is basically on sex. That they
don't even have a nice way of putting it over, because Sparrow sang about sex, Shaggy sang about sex, Beanie Man sang about sex. You have to actually listen to the song and use your noggin to figure out that that's what they're actually saying.
Exactly.
But
they're more
it's
direct.
Very blatant. They're saying the whole word and describing exactly what they want to do.
Exactly.
And so I agree with Shaggy to that point.
Yes. And so then Shaggy then went and supported what the producer said. He said, because he was saying, listen, people, and the funny thing is, Jamaicans actually, people like Shaggy and Sean Paul, who have this very melodic, sunny music and very fun music, a lot of Jamaicans actually look down on Shaggy and those guys because, you guys
because
are
they don't
old.
want to hear the truth. I love Shaggy, love
Yes,
Sean
yes,
Paul.
yes.
I think I know every single song they have.
Exactly. And
if you're hearing this from a veteran, it
Exactly.
should say something to you, you
Exactly.
know? It should tell you, hey, we definitely need to step our game up.
Yes.
We need to fix something.
Yes,
I mean, I don't understand. Even some DJs, like our local DJs, and I've heard it in other Caribbean islands, all of them are trying to speak like Jamaicans. Can we please have our own, culture? We can keep our accents, we can keep our colloquialism, and we can still sell music.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to fall into that. And so they're all trying to sing the same way and sound the same way, and the DJs are trying to, speak like the Jamaicans. But why? What happened to diversity?
But here's another odd thing in the way people think. When I play out, right? Sometimes I play out. There's always the people who maybe never heard of me, and they come up and go, so who are you? I'm like, I'm Jamster. And then they're like, yeah, but what's the name of your sound?
Oh, boy.
I said, I'm Jamster. I said, what do you mean the name of my sound? I said, I'm not Jamaican. Why does this sound have to have a name? I'm Jamster. I'm the DJ. What's there
Is
not
it that
to
they mean
understand?
like a sound system? Like they think that you have like a whole big sound system and
well,
like
I have a big sound
other
system,
DJs
but
behind
I
you
don't. Meaning, and I don't feel the need. I'm the DJ. I mean, you don't hear David Guetta and Calvin Harris going. I'm sure nobody goes up to them and goes, "Oh, are you Calvin Harris? So what's the name of your sound system?" Calvin
do
Harris.
you also get feedback like let's say you're playing music that maybe a lot of them might not know or it might not be that popular, but it's good music?
Yes, I get.
And
Actually, I get a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You tend to be around sometimes. You've been around when
But
that
for
happens.
me, it's like I'm appreciative of all. Like I can safely say the only music that I still don't understand is EDM. Like, but I'm open. If there's a way that you can get it across to me that I can enjoy it, I'm open. But
I'll have a talk with you. I'll send you a sampler. I'll send you a sample.
I'll hold you to that because I've gone to clubs in California and I'm like, what in God's name are they playing? I can't even dance to that, and I think I'm a relatively good dancer.
But actually,
the music is going so fast. The only thing you can do is stand there and go like this.
you do know black people created that music, right?
And I'm not opposed to it. I'm just
no. I'm just saying because what happened. It's what happens sometimes is that we create something, and then them folks. I'm gonna say them folks. Them folks take it and they do stuff to it that takes out the soul. That's so. I'm betting that EDM thing you went to, it's one of those type of deals because
probably was.
yes. So I can send you a sample of like house stuff,
right?
And you'll love it. Because it's soulful and it's melodic and it's sweet.
Maybe you can start slipping little bits and pieces of it on air to make our public more au fait with it.
Yes. Well, yeah, I'm gonna start doing that very soon.
Like in my office, sometimes I drive my staff crazy. Good morning, guys. See you soon. Like the things that I want to hear, right? And so sometimes I go down this crazy path, or maybe like we're listening to the radio and it's playing like oldies, and I cannot sing to save my life, and I'm singing to the top of my voice.
I think most of us who can sing, always singing at the top of our voices.
And I'm driving my staff nuts, and they go, "Where you get an old song from? Like, why is it with you and this type of music?" So sometimes when we're traveling to do events, maybe, and we're all trapped in the car, we take turns in playing what the other person wants to hear. Well, we have to, like if we're traveling from, I don't know, maybe the center of town, and we have to go to maybe Deep Bay or something like that. We're in there for a little while, and traffic is no longer what traffic used to be. So we are trapped in the car.
Yes.
So everybody gets a turn to select what they want to hear.
Yes.
And there's this one staff that has not migrated with the rest of us.
Yes.
I will not call names to the new music. So she always wants to hear like back in the day songs, and we take full privilege at that point in time to play all the new music, and we're like, you're gonna sit right here, you're gonna learn them, and you're gonna sing with us.
It was nice. It was nice when I was playing "Lift Me Up" by Rihanna. I think
that is actually her ringtone. Yes,
and she was singing, and you were singing.
When
you were in here, you were in here. No, that was nice because I remember when that song came out. Right, I remember thinking, all this great music, and you can't even hear it on the radio.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix that soon. Trust me.
Awesome. Good job. Thank you.
So yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk about was BET. Now BET was started by a black gentleman back in the 80s. His name was Robert Johnson.
It's
And
run by a female CEO right
yeah,
now. Just
and
slip that in.
and he sold it for a whole bunch of money. He sold it to Viacom. Viacom is now Paramount people.
Yes.
He sold it, and Viacom, they were the owners. They're the owners of MTV, VH1, Spike TV, channels like that. So now Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry.
Yes.
As you know, he has a bunch of shows on BET, and Paramount wants to sell BET. So now the owner of the Weather Network, who also happens to be black, his name is Byron Allen.
Yes.
He bought the Weather Network, the Weather Channel, a few years ago, and he's trying to build up his. He's trying to build up. Yes, he's trying to build up his media empire. So now the two of them are bidding for BET, and I thought it was interesting that I actually made a comment myself on Twitter, but most of the people, no, but the thing was, the thing was, the thing is, most of the people are saying the same thing I said. Everyone was like, why can't, this would be a perfect opportunity. You know, we like to say how black people are our own worst enemy.
Yes.
And they're saying this is a perfect opportunity for Tyler Perry
own it together
and Byron Allen to team up and buy BET.
Because it would mean a more variety of shows.
Yes.
I thought 50 Cent was somewhere in there. What is his role as it relates to BT? Didn't he leave Star and go over?
Yeah,
to
he's
BET?
gonna.
Or is it just his
he has
shows
two
and not
shows.
him?
He has two shows that he's gonna be producing for BET.
Okay, so he's not really like on the board or has any shares or anything in it.
No, but he's doing pretty good on the TV production
TV
side. He has a production, as you know, Power and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But it would be good, like they say, for the two of them to come together, because with the wealth of experience and resources, BT could take over.
Yes.
You know, it's a pity that's not going to happen. I want to read some of the comments. Let me see if I can find, oh God, where is it?
But they have different backgrounds, because Tyler is more into series and movies.
Yeah, and do you know that Tyler's movie studio in Atlanta is actually bigger?
Huge.
Do you know it's actually bigger than a lot of those big studios we know in California combined in terms of the footprint, like the land and all of that.
Acreage.
That's how big it is. Yeah. So I would really love to see the two of them actually. We all know it's not gonna happen because black people don't like each other when they have money. I don't know what else to say. But everybody, it's funny when I read the comments. The critical mass of the comments were saying, well, why don't you guys just get together and buy it and make sure somebody else doesn't get it?
Right.
You know?
You find that, as you say, I don't know, you find it's hard to see people of our race coming together and uniting.
I've
and
always said that.
And becoming, like
it's
everyone
a crab
wants
in
to
a
do.
barrel mentality.
Thank you.
Everyone wants to do their own thing.
Do you think it's something that remained from slavery and colonialism, where you always constantly have to fight to be the better one so that you're not the one that's sold or beaten or, locked away? Because I can't understand it. And when you look at other races, you see how they come together.
Yeah.
I remember when some of the first set of Chinese moved to St. Kitts. I swear I would make it my duty to pass by that house to count, to see how many persons were really living in there.
Yes.
Right? Because it was so many of them living in one house until they could each branch off and open their respective businesses and do what they had to do. And now those persons now have about 5 or 6 businesses open, running. And of course the persons that are in there that are actually running the business are Chinese. Yes, they do employ locals because of course it's a legal requirement. But I say that to say, is it something that we would see with persons of our race? I've never really witnessed it because we all start off really well. And then, of course, everything goes awry. Even something as simple as having associations and organizations, and it's something that I wish we would curb. It's a habit that we really need to curb, because that is what we keep getting beat by the other races with. That's what's beating us. We have a crab in barrel mentality. We have that I need to be better. If I step on him, I will get higher. As opposed to maybe the two of us build the ladder and we climb up together.
And go back to that village. Go back to that village,
Yeah.
that African village mentality.
I don't understand it.
So, are there any movies that you guys have been checking
We're gonna come
out?
to that now. I just want to read a couple of the comments. I found
you found your
it,
comments?
yeah.
Let's hear.
Okay. Oh, this was my comment. I'll read my comment now. About damn time moneyed melanated Americans stepped up to right Johnson's monumental wrong in selling BET. Here for it. Just hoping it's not wall-to-wall Perry Productions if Perry wins out. Why couldn't they team up, by the way? When are we going to learn to work together? That was my comment.
Fair enough.
And then, actually I had a swear word in there, but I didn't read the swear word.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When he said he's going to read his comment, I was kind of like, fingers crossed.
Oh, come on.
What are some of the other comments?
Yeah.
Did
well,
anyone
most of them-
respond to you?
Yeah.
Because Twitter can be brutal.
Tell me about. Somebody said they both are good, but Tyler Perry shows and movies are still all the same. We need variety of movies and shows. So that person kind of agrees with me.
To their point.
I
yes.
feel like
some of the movies are very
almost repetitive.
Yeah.
It's the same theme, same
the
running
same
through.
the
This
same
person
set of
says-
acting.
Even some of the actors.
This person says, in my opinion, Tyler Perry has done more harm, more harm than good to the black community. And Byron Allen, he just hasn't done anything at all for the community, but to use his black face.
Oh my goodness.
And then somebody
Twitter
get
is
to the point.
brutal.
Yeah. Somebody gets to the point. Why don't they partner up with each other? Or is that asking too much? Apparently it is.
Wow.
Simple. They should put their hands together to make the acquisition. Everybody will win. See, everybody's just work together, bidding war.
I'm going to rely on you to tell me how that war ends, how that bidding ends. But it would be interesting, and hopefully, they sit and think about it and then realize that it's better for everyone involved if we just work together.
Yes.
So let's see what comes of that.
I actually think I put a comment, an answer to someone's comment further down, where I was saying something like, I personally think, I think I said something like, the cynical side of me says that them folks are not going to allow black folks to own BET, even though it's black owned.
I'm really
black
hoping
black
that you're
entertainment.
wrong.
Yeah.
And saying that you're bringing up movies, have any of you guys been able to view the movies that were made here? I know we have a media
The
company here,
MSR
MSR
movies,
Movies, and they brought out some really good ones. I'm not sure if they're actually out for viewing as yet.
I think so. I think a few. Well, yeah, you're right. But
I was
know
pretty
that
interested in the one that had Elizabeth Hurley because I've always liked her. And the guy that acted as Frasier, Kelsey Grammer, I think he's also in one.
Okay.
So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing those, but are they out just yet?
I think I saw a bit of that somewhere. But, they had a viewing for the first two or so that were made here. I think around it, after they were finished. I think it was
right.
not
They-
Carnival. The Carnival. The Christmas.
Yes,
something like
yes,
that.
they
Yeah.
did have a viewing.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to just look at them because I want to, it's fun to say, well, I recognize there. I know that spot. Hey, because, the filming was done in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'm also excited about, there's another program, I think one of my staff members was telling me about it. It's a show on Netflix. And the only reason she's watching this entire show is because there's scenes of St. Kitts in it. So every lunch period, she goes into the lunchroom to look at it. And I sneak in behind her because we're waiting patiently.
Are you serious?
To see this one scene where St. Kitts is featured. So I'm happy that we actually have movies being here so that our youth, our country, just our populace as a whole can see us being put out in that light and getting that recognition.
I think there was a medical show on television which mentioned St. Kitts and Nevis where they said they went to school.
Ross, yes.
Yes. Yeah, they said they went to school so it's a medical show. I can't remember which show it is. But they were talking.
New Amsterdam.
I think it may have been that. It could be. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
Candy's up on her show.
They're having medical talks, in there and during the scenes, and they say, "So where did you go?" And so I went to an island named St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they said that they couldn't. I think they said the disclaimer was they couldn't afford school in the US.
I watched a Lifetime movie where they mentioned St. Kitts and Ross, and I was screaming in the house for no reason.
But what's funny? I always thought. With Ross, the impression I always got when I spoke to the students was that it was more about it wasn't about money, it was more about maybe you're not up to the scholastic level, or the schools might be so full there just wasn't any room for them. So now you're saying it
I always thought it was
cheap,
the cost. It was the cost. I always thought it was the
okay.
cost.
I didn't know
And
that.
then, of course, if you're going to have to pick between going to school in Minnesota in the winter.
Minnesota.
Right? Exactly.
That's what they call it. That's what Minnesotans call it.
In the winter,
Minnesota.
as opposed to St. Kitts in the winter. Like, what are you going to choose?
Yeah.
You know, so I was always under the impression that it was the cost. And hello, it's St. Kitts. Like, listen, if there's any way, shape, or form that you can slip St. Kitts in, or we can see it or view it, I'm all for it. I'm all hyped up just to see that.
I'm telling you. Okay. You guys have any? I think we have 3 minutes left. You guys have any sports, or even another movie drop?
Actually,
you guys want to do?
And as it relates to, since you said
I mean, it's
sports,
Friday after all.
Comida Willett, I see that they're having something to honor him. There's a gala or something coming up. So I would love to get someone from the committee or
I talk
the
to
guy
Steve,
himself, somebody to come in here and just
it'll be good.
give us some information. And the guy that did the book as well. It'll be good to educate our
Steve
populace
Manners,
and you know, the younger persons, of course, to know that we do have these icons here. It's just that they're not given the publicity and the recognition that they deserve.
Exactly, as you said, they need to be given the recognition. They need to be given their flowers while they're still alive.
Agreed.
Yes.
You know?
Agreed.
Because
so hopefully that's something we can do.
This
He's
happened,
a sports icon.
This happened 50 years ago, and he is still.
So the gala was last night.
Oh, it was last night.
So it would definitely be good to get them to come in.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, Richard had mentioned that, and I told him, I'm gonna try and reach out to Steve, and see if we can get Steve to get Steve to.
Well, fingers crossed that we
give
get
us the
that
hookup.
done.
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
It would be good for me.
Next week.
I feel like I just have a limited knowledge of him and what he's accomplished and whatever. And I'm
I've
pretty
never
sure
met him.
there's quite a number of persons in the community like myself. So it would be good to get someone to come in and shed some light.
It would
on
be
that.
good to have him either on Zoom or the like to have a conversation with him.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk to Steve over the weekend. I would see if we can swing that for next week. And
Perfect.
if any of you guys can, I'm gonna try and get our accountant, and if one of you guys can get some policy wonky type person, so we can
discuss the
maybe-
IMF, huh?
Yeah, IMF
This thing
stuff.
is really bothering him. We're not gonna touch the IMF today. It's Feel Good Friday, so we'll save that for Serious Monday.
Yeah, definitely not today.
But it's now 9:59, so I want to say have an awesome weekend to you guys.
Yeah, and I want to say have a
Don't
safe
work too hard.
weekend.
The way Jamster is behaving on Twitter, he needs that admonition. Have
Hey,
a safe
hey,
weekend. It has been this is the end of my first week.
Oh yes.
And I must say, you guys have made me feel comfortable and welcome, and I have enjoyed my first week, and so I'm looking forward to the remainder of my time here. Thank you so
Yes.
much for welcoming me.
No problem. The doors are open.
And I don't know if I told you, she's been getting people have been weighing in and
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It'll be good to see those stats.
She's been getting some good reviews.
Yeah.
Yes.
someone said something yesterday, and I said yes. And the funny thing is, when the person said it, I was thinking it about a half an hour before, and then I said yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing.
Yes.
Are you going to share what the person said?
No. Not
Oh,
now.
no.
Not
All
now.
that build up, and
Not
we
now.
still don't know.
Don't want your face to get too red.
Wait till I come off.
You know, Jamster always has the tea.
The tea? What tea? You mean the tea to spill, you mean?
Definitely. It has been a pleasure being with you guys. Initially, I was like,
What are you saying? It like you're not coming back.
How will it work? You know, like all of the little doubts that creep up. But Azard has made it very easy to work with him. He is such a pleasant person. I've known Jamster forever, and he keeps me on my toes with the tea, as well as keeps me grounded, because he makes me laugh quite a bit.
I remember
you guys.
I used to play at Sobe Bear, right? And
Yes.
she used to come over there, and it's at night, and she just used to ruin things. You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because she comes in there, and it's like the sun coming out at night.
Oh my!
No?
He's right. I'm gonna get red. Thank you so much for that.
Jamsa has the raps.
I'm looking forward to more audience interaction and feedback. So let's see what the new week brings.
Yes, let's see what it is. I like that green, by the way. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I figured I didn't get to wear it on International Women's Day. I'm gonna wear it today.
You're popping. You're bringing out the sun.
You guys
have a good weekend, everyone.
You guys are all right.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Hey, that's Island Tea for today. It's we're probably gonna get spanked. It's 2 minutes, a whole 2 minutes overtime. We're gonna get licks. We're gonna get detention. We're gonna have to pay a fine. We're gonna have to put $1 in a jar upstairs. There's no jar upstairs. I'm making on this.
Yeah, but we know that Jansa can handle it for us.
Exactly. We're gonna slip out this way. Let him deal with the fine.
Okay, guys, you have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
Yes,
Definitely.
Right?
Awesome.
Okay.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to Island Tea.
Yes.
Sardine have a new vibe. Brunswick sardine have a new Brunswick sardine fillet. It have a new vibe. You hear what me say? Run go to your favorite supermarket or corner shop and grab a couple things today. Cause this a sit now where everybody a go like. Brunswick sardine have a new vibe. 5 different flavors for you to try. Brunswick sardine have a new vibe. Plus it boneless. Oh yes, that's right. Brunswick